Hi, thanks for listening. My name is John Robert. I am the illustrator for Prophase, A Present Tale, which is the book one of the mitosis series written by Mitchel. I'll be reading to you from chapter 10 from the Isle of Crete. I knelt in front of the intriguing magical splendor. This had to be the first crocus of the season. The pioneer had pushed its way through the matted winter grasses and icy leftover snow. I was captured. The petals were soft white angel wings with pulsating veins of purple. In the center, the orange ruffled stamen erupted marigold color, light encompassing the flower. The simple and delicate life sang with sweet beauty. I reached down to touch the living miracle. When my hands came into my view, I fell back. My hands, arms, legs, and body all had some kind of internal sunshine. Unlike the illumination of last night's flip and fly, this time my brain held what I saw. I twirled, disoriented, as my head spun and my stomach churned. My vision wildly oscillated from bright fuzz to crystal clear and a kaleidoscope of colors. I rubbed my eyes. I took control of my eyes' apertures. My dizziness left as the blurry lights sharpened to a crisp edge. My eyes had been opened. I fell through the rabbit hole without moving. I waited for Alice to fall from the sky. I could see outside the visual spectrum, both high and low frequencies. Life was more extraordinary than my wildest dreams. I slowly turned around, soaking in everything, while grappling with my never-before experienced view. There was sunlight everywhere. The surrealism of last night was here to stay. I questioned my sanity. Everything was brilliant. The woods were painted in light, but not from the sun. Life beat through the muted trees. New feelings shot through me like finale fireworks. This time, tears came from childlike wonder. I looked directly into the sun without pain or consequence. I could see so far away. The perfect circle of light was freckled with spots, like me. Halos of metallic light encompassed the glowing ball of burning wonder. The sunshine never looked or felt so nourishing. Everything around me was alive with feelings. A flock of birds flew by, hooking my attention. They were surrounded by sunlit auras that glistened with an intensity compared to the surrounding winter landscape. A rabbit with a free outline of brightness foraged around a pile of dead branches. Even the decaying limbs of a resting oak murmured with a light purple aura. A group of pines stood out amongst the low-lit bare trees. Their auras were spectacularly different. They emitted a misty shine that was near opaque, blanketing the sky with color. I went over for a closer look. Like stacks of dishes hitting the floor, the school bell rang. Responding like Pavlov's dogs, I pulled away from the spectacular view. I had evidence it was real. Even Charlie thought I looked different, but reasons were nowhere in sight, even with my enhanced vision. Whatever was happening, it had taken root. I focused my thoughts on acting normal. It sucked. I rounded the school to the front door at a normal pace when I was wowed again. Two juniors, John and Robert, were running into the school at the last second for the countless time this year. We stood there staring at each other with nobody making a sound for what seemed like a school hour. They were radically different. They looked the same, but they had the most incredible light encompassing them. I could see an overlapping brightness, concentration, flow, and most of all, color. "Come on, John, we can't be late again," Robert said. They both started laughing, creating a swarm of firefly lights dancing around them as they uncontrollably stumbled through the door. "When did she get so hot?" I heard Robert say to John. I could aim my ear cavity to funnel whispers, giving me bionic hearing. In comparison to the tardy boys, my aura looked like a squirrel or trees. I gave off no color, just sunlight. These guys emitted so much more. One thing was for sure. Laughing was beautiful. I trailed them as long as I could, carefully observing with my new sight. I needed Lisa. I could spin my marbles to her. She could tell me whether I needed to be committed immediately for observation or declared a freak of evolution. I didn't know what the difference was anyway. At this point, all bets were off. I spun around the corner of the hallway. Even the walls had a dynamic illumination. I rushed to class. Bright forms of all kinds of shapes and colors darted into the classrooms. I found Lisa and Jade in the hallway. Both of them were talking to each other at a feverish pace. Lisa was annoyed, not just by the tone of her voice or her skittish movements, but the energy she radiated. Her aura flashed fast with cherry colors, broadcasting her mood. Jade flickered to an endless collage of uncomplimentary colors. Like most, their chests were brighter. More interesting was the interaction between their auras. Small electrical storms of light ebbed and flowed between them in amazing complexity. "Hey," I said like I did every day, while taking in the surreal light in secret. Both Lisa and Jade stopped with words in their mouths. They looked at me with shock. Their faces changed and their auras shifted in perfect unison. I recognized Lisa's expression. I had seen it this morning when I first saw myself in the mirror. "Come on, the bell's gonna ring." I shuffled around them and headed into class. "Piper, what the—" Lisa began as the clanging bell promptly signaled the end of the start of a long and laborious day. "Girls, to your desks now," I heard Mr. Miller command with patience. I briskly sat in my desk at the end of the back row with my head down. I heard Lisa calling my name under her breath. It was hard to ignore, being that it surrounded like she was right in my face. At least I knew I wasn't totally crazy. Lisa and Jade's reaction proved I was still somewhat sane. I got my notebook out and plopped it down on my desk. An epic adrenaline rush gushed through me as I looked up. Almost every face was turned towards the back of the room, staring at me. No one said a thing. The only noise was the bubbling aquarium. Lisa was mouthing something to me that I ignored. My heart immediately started to pound. I felt my eyes dilate. Auras surrounded all of my classmates. It was insanely beautiful. Each person radiated a unique light. "Okay, eyes up front," Mr. Miller growled. One by one, my classmates turned, whispering to each other. Not only could I hear the commentary clearly, but I was able to process all the conversations happening at once. My eyes rapidly danced from source to source. She dyed her hair from a mostly green Sarah. Chris dumped her from a bluish Dave. She's messed up from a low-lit yellow-orange cheerleader. It's for Chris, came a strawberry Jade. I'd do her, came from a very bright Brian. I'm not asking again. The next person that makes any noise is getting a detention, Mr. Miller added for weight. His aura was different. His light was more defined than the students and carried more strength. He amassed hot reds while writing on the whiteboard. I summoned up the courage to peek at Lisa. What's going on? She mouthed. Lisa looked at me with concern. I didn't know what to say. The classroom whispers rose back to life. Mr. Miller's shine was becoming more distracting. Everything around me moved like any day, but nothing looked like anything I had ever seen. Piper, Lisa said with more determination to get my attention. Piper! A foreboding feeling washed over me like unexpected rain. Mr. Miller spun around as time tripped into slow motion. The blood-red color in his aura collapsed in a flash, exploding bright crimson. My senses engaged. A wave of brick-red energy burst forth from Mr. Miller in every direction, hitting the first couple rows of students. Pinpricks of light crackled in their auras like hot ashes. The fish darted as the wave of anger screamed through the tank. My instincts bucked like last night. It was happening again, but this time I had an audience. My fear fueled my defenses to the approaching front of rage. My uncontrolled emotions had way more force than a focused thought. I raised my arms in defense. In an instant, a layery glass of light covered me. I closed my eyes, braced myself in a chair. I heard a noise like a guillotine, followed by a loud thud. I opened my eyes. For the second time in the period, the entire class had their eyes on me.